case Spivey. I wanted to do a bit of a lighting test in this room for something else. While I was setting up all of the lights and everything in here, I thought I'd go ahead and just go over something else that I think is really important for you guys. Because I know I've mentioned before that I work at a veterinary clinic. So this is going to be a little bit of pet info for you. And I just think this is really important because, especially with the coronavirus, we sort of scaled back for a while on the appointments we were taking. It was kind of emergencies only. And then as we sort of kind of got everything under control and figured out how scheduling was going to work and everything like that, we started letting other appointments come in. And last week, the #1 appointment that everyone had to come in for, and some people were like, well, it's an emergency, was toenail trims. Toenail trims can be an emergency, but they're also not an emergency. This is something you can learn how to do at home, and I feel like you should learn how to do at home because, for one thing, having too long of toenails, especially for dogs, it's painful to walk on. It's painful to put all of that pressure on way too long of nails, and as dogs walk, they normally walk kind of on the front of the paw, but as the nails get longer and longer, they roll back, and that's really unhealthy for them. Especially walking on the back pad. It really isn't healthy. It can cause a lot of other problems. It probably would speed up things like arthritis and stuff, so it's not good. And also nails can curl around so that they grow into the pad. That's extremely painful. That's a bad day. So you do want to keep your pet's nails under control. One of the things you can do with dogs is just let them walk, especially with the small dogs. If their feet touch the ground more often, their nails would grow less fast. That's a fact, but also if you walk on concrete, you don't have to walk on concrete all of the time, but if you walk on concrete frequently, that is going to help wear down the nails. Dogs who run a lot more, their nails grow less fast, typically. So there's one of the things. With cats, providing a scratching tree is pretty much going to cover it. Oh, our model is coming over. Zuko's going to model today, and we'll get into why. But providing a scratching tree is going to pretty much do it for them. They will get long and sharp, but the most important thing with cats is that they sheath, which means the outer layer of the nail comes off. Older cats stop being able to do that on their own, and it is important that because they'll get these real thick nails. That's uncomfortable. That hurts going back in. You want to be able to help your pet out as much as possible, especially as they're getting into older age with cats and with dogs just throughout their life, but especially as they get older too. You don't want to be letting things happen that could be then causing other problems that are very, very preventable. Another reason why you should be able to cut your pet's nails on your own is that for basic health reasons, you should be able to see your pet's paws. Your pet should trust you enough that even if they don't like their paws being touched, which Zuko does not like his paws being touched. Here, I'll bring him over. Come here, boy. Zuko has these nice fluffy feet, and I trimmed the fur off the bottom of his feet because it grows out 2 inches long. It gets really long. He does not like his nice fluffy toes being touched, but as you'll see, he does let me touch them. It does help that both Pi and Zuko, I am their mother. I've raised them. They don't know any other mothers. Most of the cats that I've had throughout my life, could at least check their feet. And for the dogs, you could touch their feet. And it's really important to be able to do that because what if they break a nail? What if they get a sticker in their foot? When their feet hurt, they should still trust you as their owner and as their parent to be able to look at their foot and see, are they suddenly missing a toe? You need to be able to assess the situation, and they need to trust you enough to assess the situation. For example, when my younger brother got his dog, right from the start, his dog really doesn't like his feet being touched. And I will say, I do think boundaries are really important, like with Zuko, and then also with my brother's dog. They don't like their feet being touched. So just all the time, I'm not going to touch their feet while we're playing. I'm trying to avoid their feet when we're doing something like brushing, where I want them to not hate the situation. You shouldn't just touch feet just because you enjoy it. I like touching cat feet. Pi will let me do it and he doesn't mind, but Zuko really doesn't like it, so I don't just do it. I do it often enough that he's used to me touching them. And so that's why I told my younger brother when he got his dog, there was a point where he didn't know if his dog had broken his nail or not, and the dog would flip out if you tried to touch his feet. There was no way, the two of us kind of holding him, we couldn't even see. He was moving so much, couldn't even see if maybe the nail was broken or not. And that can be a dangerous situation because then if you've got a broken nail, it already hurts, the dog's already unhappy, he's walking a little bit different, but also infection can grow up in there. And if you get one little broken nail that becomes a big infected abscess, you could end up losing a foot. So it actually can be a serious problem if you're not able to assess it and then get it treated if it is something serious. You see what I'm saying? What I had my little brother do is just touch his feet more often. In times when he's feeling safe, maybe when he's sleeping, or when they're just relaxed, when it's just the two of you and you're relaxed and it's safe, that's a good time to just touch the feet. Just touch the tops of the feet maybe, just touch the pad, just quickly, just so they get used to the fact that you're touching their feet and that that's safe and that's okay. It's important with cats too, especially with cats like Zuko who really hate it, just to touch just a little bit, just to be like, okay, I touched them, we're done. You let me see them, we're done. And you can work up from there. I just want to talk about like the ways to cut toenails because it's really easy and you can do it at home, and now I've discussed the reasons why I think it's really important that you do it at home. I'll bring my model over in a second, but we'll start off. There are a couple different types of nail trimmers. You can, especially with cats who have pretty thin nails, or with very small dogs or even puppies, you can just use, you know, the normal trimmers like you'd use for yourself. Like this isn't a bad option. They also make pet toenail trimmers. Here's one where you put the nail through and then it like guillotines it. Yeah, they also make ones where you squeeze and it kind of cuts the other way, almost like scissors. I like those ones a lot. We don't have those because we've just got cats, and these ones work really well. Now there's one main thing you need to watch out for, and that is the quick, which is what everyone's afraid of. You cut the nail too far and it is gonna bleed. Take a deep breath, because if you have cornstarch at home, that is if you happen to make the nail bleed, put some cornstarch on it, that is going to stop it up really well. If you have, let's say, a dog with black nails and you are really worried and it's going to be bleeding probably more often than you'd like as you're getting used to cutting it and how far to cut because you can't see the quick, which I'll explain what that is. There's like a powder called Quick Stop. Go ahead and invest in it when you invest in getting nail trimmers. There is another option for nail trimmers, and that is a grinder. I don't have one because it's not that great to use on cats. If you have one, they're pretty easy. They have different speed settings just as you get used to them. A lot of dogs think they feel real weird because they do, because they're grinding the nail down. Sometimes it smells kind of bad. So if your dog will let you do it, great. And it makes a really nice, smooth, polished finish. But if the dog won't, clipping them will be fine, and then if they just do their normal walking, it's gonna like file the rest of it down, especially if you're them walking on concrete at all. Let's get into talking about the quick, and I'm gonna try and put a picture up so you can see what I'm talking about with the quick. If your dog has clear nails, or if you have a cat, you can see the quick. It's almost like a little triangle, and it's like a vein, it's like a blood vessel. If you cut too far, that is gonna bleed and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. There's nerves in there. You're gonna cut it to just before the tip of the triangle. And if you've got clear nails, easy. Cut it to right before the tip. If you're a little bit nervous, cut a little bit further out. It never hurts to just cut just a little bit at a time. The thing for dogs, I'm gonna use this kitty as a demonstration. If this is the pad of the foot, okay, if this is the pad of the foot and the nail is coming out here, if you line your trimmer up with the pad of the foot and tilt it just slightly and cut there, almost every time that's going to be right. It's just past the crook of the nail, right across the pad. Line up with the pad. If you put your trimmers right on the pad and cut, that's going to be a perfect angle. Almost every time. Sometimes the quicks will be long. Try not to beat yourself up too much. If you've got cornstarch, it is gonna work great. You can always hold it with a paper towel, apologize to your dog that you cut it too short. But I'm gonna show you with Zuko how to do cat's nails because he has come back. You're a volunteer now. No choices. Okay, I'm gonna show you with cat's nails how you do this. So, you're going to take the paw, you're going to take the toe bean, and you're going to push. And can you see how that comes out? Okay. I know, Zuko hates this. I'm so sorry, Zuko. We're going to torture you a little bit to demonstrate what you do for other people. Okay, so you push that nail out, and do you see how there's a little bit of pink on the inside? That little pink triangle? You don't want to hit that little pink triangle. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just start trimming Zuko's nails so you can kind of see. I just hold him like this. And He's a little fuzzy, and actually his nails don't need it right now. We just go through and clip, clip. Whoop. I know, I know. Zuko hates getting his nails done. The thing is, I trust him and he trusts me. So I know, oh, and don't forget to get dew claws. I know that as much as he's gonna struggle and he's gonna complain, and eventually he will start growling actually. Zuko hates this. But as much as he's doing that, I know he's not gonna try and hurt me. And he knows I'm not trying, oops, sorry. I'm not trying to hurt him. Until your cat also trusts you, I'm gonna do it with the other one so you can kind of see what the difference is. It might be that this is impossible for you, in which case having somebody else hold them is really useful. If someone else can hold them on their lap and hold out a paw and then you can trim them. The other way, I'm gonna get Pi for this because Zuko has had enough and his nails really don't need it. I'll show you with Pi how to you can swaddle them in a towel, and that's another good way, especially if you've got a cat who's really unhappy. You can kind of swaddle them up, maybe even swaddle their head for a minute just so you can trim their nails. When it comes to dogs, let's say you've got a feisty little Chihuahua, and that Chihuahua is not gonna let you touch the nails for anything. You might invest in a little just soft muzzle to put on the mouth. Just something to hold the mouth shut just long enough so that you can look at all of the feet and you can trim them and everyone can stay safe. Okay, so here's Pi. You see we can wrap up so that only one paw at a time is coming out of the blanket. And then I have a free foot here. Pi's gonna let me do it. He doesn't have too much of an issue. And we can just go ahead. Ooh, look. See, this is what I mean by the sheathing. Look, see that chunk came off? That was just the outside sheath of that nail. I actually trimmed all their nails last week before I thought of doing this, so most of their nails are really good, actually. Those clippers are a little bit dull. Sharp clippers are obviously always going to be better, like in every situation. You want sharp knives. So now you see that paw was done. I can pull out a different paw and kind of swaddle him back up. Pi, you're very tolerant. Pi will also let me brush his teeth. Pi doesn't mind at all me looking in his mouth, which is also important. If you can get to the point where you can take a peek in your pet's mouth, that's also really helpful. Because one thing, brushing their teeth is gonna stop a lot of health problems. As teeth get kind of infected, that can go down. It can infect the kidneys, the liver, the heart, all of those things. So brushing the teeth is important. If you are giving them dry food that they can crunch through, a lot of times that's going to keep the teeth really clean. If you've got a small dog, small dogs just tend to be prone to really bad teeth. Brushing the teeth can be really important. But the other thing is being able to check and see if maybe something's stuck in the tooth, being able to see if a tooth has cracked. Also important for the same reasons that it's really important to be able to look at the feet. It's kind of about building up trust. It's kind of about being a little bit confident. You're just gonna go in and kind of try, and if you can just clip off the very, very tip of the nail, that's enough to start off with. Get used to it. Get you used to it and get them used to it. And like I said, if you mess up, the worst it's gonna do is bleed. Do not panic. Your pet's probably going to trust you a little bit less, but apologize. Again, this is about building up trust. Promise you're not going to do it again. Cut less on the next nail. Cornstarch will stop the bleeding. Just press it to the bleeding area and hold it for a second. Pack it on a little bit. It will work. So if you don't have anything else at home, and again, if your pet has clear nails, it's going to be a cakewalk. But if they've got the dark nails, take the pad, line it up. From the soft part of the pad, line up and cut at an angle to there, and it's gonna work, I promise you. Hopefully that's enough information to kind of teach you how to do it. You just gotta get in there and do it, and the more you do it, the easier it's gonna become. But right now, while you're home anyway, is a really good time to start. It's a great time to start getting your pet used to you touching their feet, and it's a great time to get used to how much to cut. If you have a family member living with you, it's a good time for both of you to learn. One of you hold the pet and the other one check the feet and cut the nails. Nail clippers aren't that expensive. I mean, at our clinic, I think we charge $15 to trim toenails. And sometimes, like, yeah, it's gonna be easier if you have any kind of issue you need somebody to. But if you're capable of doing it at home, it's a really good skill to have. It's probably about $15 to get a pretty decent set of trimmers, and then you're set. It's a good thing to learn. If you have any other questions, or if you need like some specific things elaborated on, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I will go ahead and try and connect to other channels. I'll try and find somebody who's trimming dog nails for you, and maybe if there's someone else trimming cat nails, so you can kind of see how other people do it. For the most part with my cats, setting them on my lap and cutting them is just the way that works best for me. And they will struggle, and Zuko will absolutely start growling as you get back to the back feet. He does not want to be held down. He does not want you touching his feet, but we get it done. And we only do it at the most once a week. Usually I go once a month with them because they're young cats. They're still sheathing their own nails. I just want them to not scratch me on accident when they suddenly like jump up from my lap or something. I've had old cats before too, where they're not used to it from when they were younger. The blanket trick works great. Having somebody else kind of pet them and distract them while you get a few nails done at a time works great. Don't forget the dew claws on the side. Those can curl into a circle if your pet, let's just say, worst case, your pet already has really bad nails. Let's say they already curl into a circle. These kind of clippers are not going to cut it. These ones might be really tricky. You're gonna wanna get the ones that are a little bit more like scissors, and you're just gonna go in. If it's really grown into the pad, it is going to be painful. That might be a good reason to go to the vet for one time to get all of the nails trimmed up, and then from there you start doing it on your own. You start trying to maintain. If things are really bad, and with teeth as well, if things are really bad, go to the vet. Absolutely. Get down to a safe baseline where everything is kind of taken care of once, and then start from there. Start learning to brush the teeth. Start learning to trim the nails. If it's really gotten out of control, just admit to yourself and go in and get it taken care of once, because the health of your pet is really important. Like, why have pets in the first place if you're not going to take really good care of them? That is all from me today. Hopefully it was helpful. Like I said, leave a comment down below if that was helpful, or if you want any other tips, because I did grooming at PetSmart for a little while. It wasn't like part of my job, but it was something I was required to do, interestingly. So I've been cutting nails for a long time. I've owned pets for most of my life. I've worked in a veterinary clinic for several years now. Just the other day, a dog came in, big dog, but came in with like the longest nails, and I had to like both arms. It was like cutting a branch off a tree to cut those back, but the dog can walk now like a normal dog. Like it is important to your pet's health. That was what I had to say for today. Hopefully that was helpful, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!